Hi folks, welcome to today's color process video. Today's comic is one where I wanted to keep the color scheme fairly pared down, and I also wanted to have like a nice balance in the colors to help kind of complement the fairly simple kind of art style and shapes that I used for today's comic. In terms of the balance, what I mean by that is if you look at both characters, I use kind of contrasting colors and some of the same colors between the two characters. So if you look at the character on the left, the red skin that I used on that character, it's the same red that I used for the other character's nose. And then the other character, the blue of their skin, is the blue that I used for the other character's nose and hair. And then the yellow of the left-hand character's t-shirt, that's the same yellow that I used for the background of the fourth panel. And this is something I feel is quite important when coloring comics, or coloring in general, is to set limitations on yourself and try to make the most of the few colors that you choose to use in your piece, because I find that when you're working digitally, it can be very tempting to plaster all manner of colors on the page, but that can run the risk of muddying things up and giving the eye too much to look at. So like when you pare things back, it gives things more focus. It gives the art more focus and it gives you more focus, or at least I find it does with me. Um, like think of it like this: when you go onto, say, the likes of Netflix, I'm sure, or like whatever streaming service you use, if you use one, I'm sure many of you have experienced this where you sit down and try to choose something to watch, but you find you almost spend more time trying to find something to watch than actually watching something. And the same rings true with color choices. If you have like access to all manner of different colors as you do like when you're working digitally, um, it can create this kind of crippling effect where you just simply can't choose a color. So like when you have like a reduced number of colors to choose from, it kind of focuses, it kind of creates more focus for you. And that's one of the reasons why I have like a set number of swatches, like on a layer when I'm working on my comics. It's not necessarily that I will use those exact colors, but I do find that having those swatches there, it does help me when it comes to using a reduced color palette in my work. And it's something like I would highly recommend, like everyone does. Like if they're starting off coloring, just to choose like a handful of colors and use those and don't use anything else outside of that. And yeah, like this is one of those cases where I feel the line work, it was fine. It it does its job, but I feel this is one of those like comics where the color really does enhance it. Like it brings something extra to the table that wasn't there in the line work. Like there's just something kind of pleasing about this comic, and again, that's the reason why I went with, rather than giving the characters like just like standard skin colors, I went with these more like garish kind of cartoony colors because it popped more. It made them just that bit more visually appealing, I feel, than if I had to try to make them look quote unquote real. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you at the next video. Take care.